Good evening. How are you?
We're all good.
Novak news. We're going to get it rolling. Stay tuned.
Hey, Cleo, what are we going to talk tonight about?
Tonight we're talking about dreaded mold.
Yeah, that's a big topic, isn't it? It's not just seasonal, it's all the time.
I just want to apologise. I didn't realise that was live before, so my apologies.
That's okay. We need the things like that, you know.
I didn't
it helps
realise.
us.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you guys were just talking, so I jumped in.
It's good to see you, Mike.
Keeps it interesting.
That's right. Okay, what do you have to say about mold?
Well, where do you begin? In rental properties, it's like the devil, isn't it?
Yeah, and look, it is everywhere. It's something that need to be maintained all time. As I said previously, it's not just seasonal. You cannot say it's just in the winter time or summer. It's all time, isn't it?
It's true. Especially on the northern beaches, we're coastal, you do get that sea change, you get that breeze, and it does, some of our properties are damp naturally, but now with all this weather and this horrible, horrible storm we've had.
Yeah, and we had a few lately, isn't it?
Yeah, like, some of the properties that we manage, they might not have had actual water inside, but the whole fact that everywhere around the property and around the unit blocks had so much wet weather around, and it is a breeding ground for mold, definitely.
It is, and now with climate change and with the condition and the weather what we have, regardless if you have a new property or you have an old property, it is there. You cannot say it's something that is just in the houses or something just in the units, isn't it? It's just reality, and it is present all the time.
Yeah, we do. As property managers, we face issues with mold all the time, especially bathrooms. Tenants, if, for example, an extractor fan stops working or they don't open the window, mold's very quick to start forming on the ceilings and, things like that. So it is a tenant's responsibility to maintain mold if there's not an underlying repair issue. So we often go to routine inspections, don't we? And then we say, well, this has to be cleaned, because you've got to keep on top of it, otherwise it gets worse.
That's right. And the first place where it starts, it is in the showers, isn't it? On a grout area. And this is why it's important to wipe that areas regularly and clean the bathrooms regularly. It not need to use some stronger detergents and like a bleach or something. It can be maintained with some environment-friendly products, like just a vinegar, and not to use some chemicals and
mold or bleach, and especially if you've got kids at home, you don't want to be using all those harsh chemicals. So yeah, there's definitely other options out there.
Yeah, but with the maintaining and cleaning regularly, you not need to use stronger chemicals.
True.
If there is a mold already, like it's too late to prevent or to do anything. And you, when they say you cannot, vinegar doesn't help or something like that, it does help if it's regularly clean. But if it's left too late, then it's too late, and you have to use some stronger chemicals.
And I don't clean my shower for 12 months. Vinegar won't work. What?
That's right. That's right. And then it's not just on the ground; it's in a seal as well, and then damage the glass and everything really.
And it
Then,
and doesn't it? The gyprock gets permanently stained, so you have to paint it.
yeah, and the paint as well, and then it's not maintenance anymore. Now it's a repairs, isn't it? It's a level up to look after it. And then it comes to a landlord's issue because property is already damaged.
That's right. What about now with all these storms, Branka? Insurance, tenants, stuff that might be, affected by mold because of all this wet weather. Are the tenants covered?
No, they're not. They're not under landlord's insurance. They have to have their own insurance. And we always recommend for tenants to have their own research, do their own homework, and find a company that will cover their belongings. It's their own contents insurance. It's not under landlord's insurance.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Because obviously, we've gone to NCAT on a number of occasions with tenants and mould, and it does come down to the fact whether they do have their own contents insurance, right?
That's right, and it always comes to maintenance first, and then repairs, and then insurance. But on the end of the day, tenants has to be insured. They have to insure their own belongings. They cannot accept, then not think that.
Yeah, no, insurance companies are probably ringing off the hook right now. I know that I have a couple of claims in the works. How soon can a tenant see results from an insurance company when there's a roof leak or something to do with these floods?
Now processes can take up to 3 months. Because it's so many claims there, and insurance are working on it, but it's nothing going to be immediate, and it taking really time. And what else? Insurance now not just asking for forms to be filled and claim lodged, and job is done. It's not like that. Now they're expecting to find a couple of courts. They want to see the photos prior damage happened, then during the damage, and after things are being fixed. It is a process there.
And they send out an assessor, don't they? It's not even,
That's right.
First of all, that you have to book an appointment with the insurance company's assessor, and they come and assess the damage before anything can be quoted or even attempted to start.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it sucks, if you're the tenant and you've got, a leaky roof, or you've had stormwater, and you're calling your property manager all the time going, what's happening? But if the landlord is putting through a claim, there's not really a lot we can do, is there?
Not much. We're working on it, and we're following up, but it is really difficult. Look, we have buildings where lifts are broken, and where we have all the residents that they cannot really use the stairs and all that, and you cannot do much about it. You have to stay in a queue and wait till the assessors comes, till we got the reports from technicians and find out how much it will cost and all that. And of course, it's not a small amount of money. All these repairs are in thousands and thousands, and it's not just that a landlord can pay for the repairs.
No,
it has to be helped through the insurance.
The strata insurance, when it's a lift and stuff, and the committee have to all agree on the quote, and it can take a long time.
That's right. And it's not just between tenants and landlords. It's also strata that is involved there as well, especially, of course, in the units. If we're talking about units, it's different when it's a house. But if it's units, if it's townhouse, then there is a strata as well. And a landlord cannot fix all the stuff that has happened with damage, because there is a strata regulation and it is under strata responsibility. And that takes the time as well.
What about, speaking of strata and units, what about carpet? Because there's a lot of carpets that are wet and damaged now. Is that owner responsibility or strata?
It is owner's responsibility, but in some stratas, if that happened because strata didn't maintain, example, drains, balcony drains, and we had experience recently where property got flooded because a drain on the balcony wasn't maintained and it was blocked. And due to all this raining that we had, water entered to the property and damaged the carpet. Then landlord's insurance should cover that. But it's happened already not long ago. And landlord's insurance questioning why it's happening again, same similar things. And it comes to strata that hasn't maintained a balcony drain, because drains are under strata's responsibility.
So, I mean, if an insurance company can get away with not paying, they'll do that, obviously, right?
Anyone.
That's right.
That's a reality. That's reality. They will try to avoid.
Excuse me. And guttering too. Gutter plays a big factor. These gutters that are full of leaves, and a lot of the unit blocks that have got massive trees around them, they would have got a deluge of water on them over this last week and two, and they just can't cope with the flow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting. So carpet, I had a couple of apartments just the other night. The owners agreed to get the carpet extracted with water and dryers and everything, and they can claim that possibly later from their insurance though, can't they, with an invoice?
That's right, but it is very expensive, really. When you order someone to come to extract the water from a carpet and then to dry concrete under, it's really expensive, and running a fence for a couple of days for 24 hours, it comes really expensive. Usually that bill itself comes close to $3,000. And
wow.
when you see that invoice, you think you can buy a brand new carpet for that amount of money. But the problem is the floor has to be dry.
The slab,
it's not just the slab has to be dry. It's not about the carpet and the price of the carpet. It's actually the slab has to be dry. Otherwise, you cannot just lay a brand new carpet and put on a concrete and think that concrete and think that you finished and that the job is done. It's not. It's a process there too. Otherwise, you will have again mold on underlay, and then it will come on a carpet as well.
Yeah, so it has to be dried, has to be ripped up, concrete has to be dried, and then you can see whether or not the carpet's worth keeping or replacing. Sometimes that underlay damage too, doesn't it? In the
because when in the process when you're trying to pull a carpet to dry, and carpet is heavy. When it's full of water, and of course in that process carpet gets damaged and underlay get the damage as well. And then it's when but you still have to go with the process of drying a slab.
Yeah, and floorboards, interestingly enough, the cheap floating floors don't fare well with water, do they?
No. And it doesn't show on the first day or second day or even maybe 7 days. But then after like a week or so, all floorboard starts buckling up, and then you can see where's water sitting and where it's damaged.
So it's worthwhile if you're a landlord out there and you're doing renovations to do a hybrid laminate now that is almost like a waterproof tile, isn't it?
Yeah. Really, tiles are the best option, safest option.
Wogs love tiles.
That's right. It's the safest option, really. You just have to wipe a floor and it's done.
That's it. That's it. But as my mum always says, it's cold in winter. It's cold.
But it's safe during the flood season. It's durable. It's a heavy duty. It's a durable and a heavy duty flooring.
Just everything, polished concrete the whole way through. Well, I mean, it's so common though. In property management, we deal with wet carpets so often, don't we? Even not in extreme El Nino sort of weather that we're having now. That certain balconies haven't been waterproofed properly, and a little bit of rain, everything just comes straight under the door.
That's right. And another things that very often make damage the property is flexi pipe.
Yeah.
That's the cheapest things. It comes about $12 to buy in a Bunnings. And flexi pipe is something that damages property badly because when flexi pipe bursts and if no one is at home, it can flood the whole property, or even tenant can be in a house. And if they're not in that area, like in an ensuite or in the laundry or in the bathroom, carpet can be all wet and whole property can get damaged with that.
Well, you're at work for minimum 8 hours or so. Like, how much water could flow for 8 hours?
That's right. That's right. And it's like just $12 to purchase in the Bunnings, but can make thousands and thousands of dollars damage.
So landlord insurance as well. I mean, very important, not just for flood damage and things like that, but things like this. When you split flexi hose goes and your tenant's not home, some policies cover damage. Yeah.
Yeah, for any accidental damages, it's good to have a landlord insurance. That's these days. That's something must.
No brainer.
Yep, that's right. And just to finalize all our talk about this, what we were talking tonight is about mold and who is responsible for and all that. I would always say that we are all responsible for. We all need to educate ourselves on the mold, how to maintain and how to prevent and not to get to that point. Because it's not just insurance will pay for it or landlord will pay for it. We have to learn how to avoid that.
Yeah,
because it can damage health. It can seriously damage health for our families, for us. That's why we need to learn how to avoid that kind of things and look after our properties and look after our health. Because sometimes, when people say, "Oh, look, my house is moldy," would landlord give me a rent reduction because the bedroom is moldy or something like that? That's something that has no price. Regardless if we get the rent reduction or something, mold is something that damages people's health.
Yeah, it's good that you brought up that whole health issue because, if a property is inherently damp, and we do have properties that have damp issues, and you can basically tell throughout the tenancy you've maintained it, it's not getting any better. Some of these problems are structural. They're not going to go away with a rent reduction. At some point, you have to take ownership on your life and what you're going to do about the issue. And for me personally, I wouldn't rent a property that's had historic issues with mold. I would look at moving, breaking my lease, moving out. I'm not going to
Or
stay
working on it to fix it, you know, and also to avoid mold to come. Because if a tenant doesn't report the issue, if they don't clean, I understand tenants in a building cannot clean gutters and all that, but they can see when ceiling is getting moldy. Also, it's important to use exhaust fans always in the bathroom and during the showers or something. In the laundries these days, we all use dryers, and our lifestyle has changed a lot, and we use a lot of the equipments that actually produce the steam and produce the all the
condensation
and everything, and we are a reason why how mold comes, you know. And if we don't prevent from that and not maintain, landlord cannot do anything about.
I've never understood why they put dryers in those internal laundries with the closing doors in the kitchen. A tenant, you know, you're going to turn the dryer on, close the door and go to work with, I don't know, 10 sheets or something in there. And then you get back home and everything's wet and dripping. I never understood it, but yeah, you're right. You've got to have responsibility for your own, you know, your own actions too. It's not just
That's right.
the landlord will cop the bill or the insurance will pick up the tab, because they won't.
That's right. And it's not always a structural problem. It's not always a building issue. You know, first things we need to find out why is that happening? What is causing? Is it our lifestyle? Is it our way how we're living and how we're maintaining a property? If we're drying the clothes inside of the house, regardless about dryers, you know, dryers do produce lots of steam and all that. But also if you have a washing rack inside of a living area, you know, if drying the clothes inside, that brings some mold and condensation as well. If we don't use exhaust fans, if we don't use range hoods when we are cooking, and that's all is adding. If we don't open the windows, if we have a constantly blinds down and windows are constantly closed, that's what's happening.
It's not the mold's fault. We're causing the issue.
We are inviting it.
We're inviting it.
That's right.
A friend of mine went to, you know, the Belrose Supercentre the other day and picked up a few dehumidifiers, which are always good during winter, especially in a colder room or a dark sort of, you know, ground floor apartment. They tend to. Right. You find they help too? Yeah.
Yeah. If you're using them correctly.
Yeah.
They're great. They're great.
Yeah.
Same as a fence and same as opening the windows and range hoods and everything. If you're using all that equipment that they are there, air conditions helps as well a lot. And if that all equipments are being used, of course, then we can prevent from damaging our homes and our health as well.
You know, I just got an idea from Mark. He just had the hand sanitizers. I'm wondering if he can come up with a anti-mold solution. Novak spray bottles with anti-mold solution. Don't tell him.
It's hot. If he hears that tonight, he will probably start thinking about that and making something.
Well, that's been an interesting topic tonight, Branka. Thank you. I think we've covered pretty much a lot of it. I hope everybody, you know, that has been affected by the floods and, you know, this extreme weather, that everyone's safe, and that's the main thing. And if you are experiencing issues and you're in touch with your property manager, you know, we are, you know, trying our best with the client and yourselves to get, you know, resolved as quickly as we can.
That's right. And we are here to help. You know, it's not just a property manager is not just to report, that you have to report issues that when it's something at home. You can always call us for an advice, because we have a lot of experience and we talk to different people and we learn from different people, and we always hear how other people maintain and how they're managing things. So, you know where we are, you know our number, just give us a call.
Well, I hope that everybody has a lovely evening. Branka, it's been awesome as always. I'll see you first thing in the morning.
Thank you. Thanks, Cleo. Everyone have a good night. Thanks.
Bye-bye. See you.
Bye.